Snow and ice cold temperatures return.
Tonight I'm tracking when the snow will clear and when will warm back up.
Colorado drivers may have to get used to slick roads.
We've had so much weather that's come up. It's a supply versus demand.
Tonight we're looking into what's behind a shortage of de-icer.
A nationwide debate takes center stage at the Colorado Capitol.
We need this bill to protect that access.
It's pretty clear that these are precious human beings that are violently killed in the name of choice.
Coloradans make their voices heard on a bill aimed at making sure abortion remains a right in Colorado.
And first tonight, we're tracking a snowy and frigid night here in Colorado. And right now, temps have fallen into the single digits.
And of course, the falling snow can mean tricky driving conditions as we take a live look at how traffic's moving along at I-70 and Steel Street in Denver.
All right, let's get to tonight's team coverage. Sloan Dickey is live in Aurora to explain why slick roads might be the norm these final weeks of winter.
We're going to start with our chief meteorologist, Mike Nelson. Mike?
Ooh, I tell you, it's really cold out there. We're putting the burr in Denver right now. Single digits all along the Front Range, 8 at our studios. It's already 1 below at Evergreen and Conifer, and 5 below up at Ward, Nederland, Blackhawk at 3 below zero. And across the state, readings are in the single digits over northeast Colorado. Not quite as cold mountains and southwest, but combine the wind, and on exposed skin it feels like -6 in Denver, 11 below zero at Sterling, 3 below zero in Burlington. There are plenty of warnings, watches, and advisories in effect all across our state and off to the east of us as this storm begins to shift its focus farther east. There's lighter snows falling over the northern mountains and up toward Fort Collins and Loveland. The heaviest snows for Denver are shifting off to the east, Douglas County, Elbert County, Central Adams, and Arapahoe. And the really heavy stuff is now moving off into Kansas, where some areas along I-70 are getting snowfall at a rate of 2 inches per hour, and that's going to continue much of the night. So the heavy snow moves east, slick and cold tonight, flurries tomorrow morning. Warmer weather over the weekend. When we hit 60 again, I'll have that for you in about 15 minutes.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Mike. And Colorado drivers might need to get used to slick roads during these final weeks before spring.
Roads tonight are snow covered, and it doesn't help that road crews are also dealing with a shortage of de-icing material used on our roads. Denver 7 Sloan Dickey is live tonight in Aurora explaining what is behind this shortage. Sloan?
Yeah, de-icer is crucial for keeping the roads clear. As you can see behind me, I-70 is flowing smoothly at the moment. That's because crews have enough de-icer to weather this storm. However, we did speak with some companies who say they're worried about the supply shortage and the supply running thin.
And they will just load and load and load.
When it comes to de-icing the roads, Snow Management Services in Denver has a lot of work to do.
We have some properties in the Denver Tech area that we'll have to fill these multiple times just to do their property.
But all that work requires a lot of supply, specifically de-icer.
In any given storm, we will easily go through 10 truckloads, which basically equates to 200. A truckload is 25 tons.
But that de-icer is running short. Supply chain problems, a warm start to winter, and several recent storms have left buyers with few options.
Some of what's impacted is we didn't have any weather in October, November, and December. And unfortunately, with the way the events have played out, this isn't normal. So we're just going through it faster than what would be the normal case.
Now suppliers are stretched thin.
Basically what they're doing is trying to take care of the needs of the many, and basically we're being rationed is how it's playing out.
Kimberly Jewell, the general manager, says roads could get icy if the de-icer runs out. For the moment, Snow Management Services has found a substitute stored in large warehouses like these.
This is actually ice slicer, ice kicker, and rapid thaw.
She says they can handle this storm.
We're looking at single-digit numbers Thursday and Friday. So right now, we're just holding the line.
But if the temperatures and the supply chain stay frozen, it could impact the roads as well.
All of us snow fighters out here are doing everything that we can to keep people and property safe, but the reality of it is what we're up against right now is difficult.
Now, Snow Management Services will be out in the coming days, making sure that those roads are clear, even as the supply chain runs thin. In Aurora, Sloan Dickey, Denver 7.
All right, Sloan, thank you. And Denver 7 meteorologist Lisa Hidalgo and traffic anchor Jason Luber will be here in the morning tracking conditions for your morning drive. Denver 7 in the morning begins at 4:30 a.m.
News tonight, police say one person is dead, 3 others in serious condition after a shooting at a Quality Inn in Aurora. This is on North Uri Street, just south of I-70. Police haven't released many details, but say there is no active threat to the public. The abortion debate taking center stage tonight at the Colorado State Capitol.
All day and well into tonight, hundreds of Coloradans are making their voices heard on a bill to keep reproductive rights legal in our state.
Denver 7 CB Cotton live at the Capitol tonight, hearing from both sides of this very heated debate. CB?
Testimony has now gone 8 hours long. Right now, specifically, some Coloradans who are opposed to House Bill 1279 are making their plea to committee members. And just last month, committee members heard hours-long testimony on this same topic, abortion. As we all know, every time this conversation comes up, it also brings a lot of emotions with it.
If you could please help me understand how this notion that a fetus doesn't have a soul.
In this packed committee room, everyone's interpretation of both the scripture and the law is different.
My understanding of God is that God can see everything and see beyond.
But come late Wednesday night, those differences will have to culminate in a decision about abortion access in the state. House Bill 1279, also known as the Reproductive Health Equity Act, aims to enshrine abortion rights into Colorado law. Colorado Democrats sponsored the bill, citing a challenge to Roe v. Wade the U.S. Supreme Court will rule on this year and abortion restrictions in other states.
We need this bill to protect that access because we do not know what's going to happen in June, but it doesn't look very good.
Some of the bill's opponents say Colorado has enough measures in place to ensure women can have abortions. Others cite moral or religious obligations as to why they cannot support it.
Because HB 1279 is broadly written, it lacks transparency. It is an injustice to the 1.3 million Coloradans who recently voted to prohibit abortion at viability.
It's pretty clear that these are precious human beings that are violently killed in the name of choice.
In addition to hours of witness testimony, representatives from pro-choice and pro-life groups were in attendance. To name one of each, Cobalt and Save the Storks.
I had an abortion. The circumstances around that were rather challenging.
In this packed committee room, as the end of Wednesday draws near, different interpretations of abortion access.
Scripture is pointing to the idea that the baby has a soul.
Central to progressive theology is that God gifted humankind the freedom of choice.
Will culminate in a final vote. And again, testimony is ongoing at this hour. As soon as we have a final vote from committee members, we'll be sure to share that over on thedenverchannel.com. Back to you.
All right, CB, thank you. So let's go in depth and take a closer look at House Bill 1279. The bill declares every person has the fundamental right to use or refuse contraception, and that every pregnant person has the right to continue a pregnancy or have an abortion. It also bars state and local entities from denying or restricting abortion access or prosecuting people for getting an abortion.
One of the reasons it's important to make sure that this is even in statute is because of what we're seeing happening across the country within our state legislatures. And we want to make sure that we are putting something in statute right now while we have the ability to protect access.
And you can read our summary of the bill right now on thedenverchannel.com. And if this bill is passed into law, the next step for Democrats would be a push toward including abortion access in the state constitution. Voters could be asked to decide on that in 2024.
And the future of Roe v. Wade is murky, and many believe the conservative-leaning Supreme Court could overturn the constitutional right to abortion. Doing so then would leave the issue of abortion access up to each state to decide. So where do Coloradans stand on this debate? A survey last month from Axios found more than 2/3 of Coloradans should have access to abortion care. 2/3 also said yes when asked if they would vote for a proposal to guarantee a woman's right to choose to get the procedure.
Very soon, masks will no longer be required when you go to Avs and Nuggets games. Today, Kroenke Sports announced it is lifting its COVID-19 policies at Ball Arena and Paramount Theater beginning Saturday. That also means you will no longer have to show proof of vaccination or proof of a recent negative test.
United Airlines reversing course tonight, allowing unvaccinated workers to return. This is according to a report of the Wall Street Journal tonight. United workers not vaccinated because of religious or medical reasons will be allowed to return at the end of the month.
A truck stolen from Commerce City has been found, slightly damaged, and the owners are more than thrilled. We told you about this 2003 Ford F-350 last night. The truck has sentimental value because the plates bear the name Trindon, the son of Ray and Charlie Robles. The little boy died in a crash 5 years ago. He had himself picked out that truck. Well, the owners tell us they are beyond excited to have their truck back.
Meet Sister Shred.
Some days you just feel like you want to sit down in the trail and cry. And then you realize you have to get up.
A Colorado woman not letting limitations get in the way of her passion for mountain biking.
Plus, March Madness is here. The Colorado State women looking for the first Mountain West tournament title in 21 years.
Snow and bitter cold for tonight and early tomorrow, but there is a warm up in the 7-day.